Hey everyone, this is Avi Harkishin. This is the second part of my analysis I'm doing. I figured I will just do the first part I did. I figured I'll just do the indexes as a SPY, IW, and QQQ. Just get that out of the way. I don't want to mix it up with all the other charts. Then you're gonna have like a super long video because not everybody's interested in the indexes versus the individual stocks that's traded. That's the first one I just posted 6 minutes ago. So I am now doing the individual stocks, which we will talk about now. Let's start with Tesla. Um, Tesla, this is a chart that I had since January 2024 that has played out very closely. Matter of fact, we're in wave 3, which I think wave 3 is right here, and I think you'll see wave 4 coming back down now. Wave 4 tends to do a retracement of about, I'll tell you right now, I'll show you matter of fact, of about 0.382. Whenever you have a wave 3 that is completed, wave 4 tends to either do somewhere between 0.236, or most of the times it comes back down to 0.382. Tesla, let's do the daily chart. You see where we at here? If you look at this, Tesla's kind of hot right now based on MACD and RSI. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. It can certainly go higher. It can have an extended wave 3. Um, we have, give me a second here. We have this hard rejection right here. Me, weekly, we have this hard rejection. Uh, we have increased volume. It's the first thing. Then the next week we have indecision. So what we're waiting for really is to see what's happening the next week. Let's look at the daily. So what we got going on right now, we have MACD curling down the daily. We have some increased selling volume right here. Now we have this hanging man suggesting. You see me put that up earlier, suggesting that there's some selling. Now let's put this back up. And you see here MACD is curling down as well. You can see this as well. MACD curl down and then push back up. So you can see something like this again on Tesla happening. It's going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. But the price forecast that I have for Tesla at the moment is an ABC. Now, the last time I put up a post about this and I said, look for that um, level of 460. Now, if we begin seeing rejection off of that 460 or 470, I think 472, and where did I get that level from? Was here. Whenever there's a B wave, you see rejection of this 0.618 or the 0.786. Tesla rejected. It came just above the 618 and it got rejected and it came back down. Um, and you see it was rejected off of, it came back down on increased volume. And see this here? Let me show you this as well. Now, this is an inverted hammer candle with increased volume. This here was illustrating or telling you that you should see some increased price action, which we had. But, however, I'm still holding on to my bias that we see, let me remove this, that we see more downside on Tesla coming back down to around this 355 level. Um, where am I getting that from? Is using fib extension for a B wave. So C wave tends to do something like this, where you are going to have, this is your price target range, right somewhere here. That's your range between 394 to around 355 area. That's the range I'm looking at. Tesla should come back down somewhere in this range for the C wave. The target I have is about 355-ish, I think. I have somewhere around that level. Now, it doesn't have to come all the way down. It could stop somewhere around 362, or it could stop somewhere around 380 level. I don't know what it's going to do exactly. So I just look at the chart, what it's doing on a daily base, and see what volume price analysis is telling me, and I'll just look at it and I'll change any decision that I have to make or any forecast that I have based upon new information I'm looking at. Now, that's the downside on Tesla. Let's look at the 4 hours. Now, if you see this, if Tesla begins to start falling, this is the level, pay attention to the level. If you see Tesla start falling below this level right here, I trade with levels 410 to around 405. It's most likely coming back down to complete that C wave, because then you can, if it comes back down here, the wave is valid. If it comes back below the A, the wave is valid. It's gonna come back down somewhere around 3, within this range right here. So far I have around 365, 355, somewhere around there I have. So if it starts dropping below here, that's the level that I have. Now for upside target, let's go to 2 hours. Now can you see some upside? Yeah. So you can see something like this in Tesla going forward. Let me just do here. For the bull case scenario, you can have something like this. If there's increase, you have this here. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have the wave 5. This here is a bull case scenario that I'm showing you. Bear case scenario would be something like this. You have, let's see, I can go here maybe. You have a path like this. You come back up here. You test that around this level right here. And you begin to do this. Yeah, that's the bear case scenario for Tesla fulfilling this C wave that we have here. Somewhere around this 380 coming back down here. All right, it's readable level. I don't know what it's going to do. Sometimes it might build out this head and shoulder pattern. It's very much possible that you see Tesla build out a head and shoulder pattern before it drops again. This is the head, shoulder, two shoulders. Get rejected off the 244 level and it drops again. That's a possibility, but I have more downside for Tesla. Unless it stops here and it starts to move back, I give you the bull case scenario as well. It's always about the level. I don't know. Please look at levels when you're trading. Don't think that your bias is always, the market is always going to fulfill your bias. It never tend to do so. So that's why you have to look at what's really going on with the chart and the price action. Let's look at another chart. That's Tesla. Let's look at AMD. Very interesting looking chart. top of my list that I'm looking at for a potential bottom here in AMD. On the weekly chart, AMD sold off. And this is what I'm talking about before, by the way, on SPY, if you look at my SPY video as well, where it seems like it's curling up, but then you have that rejection, it continues to drop, curl up, it continues to drop, selling off. AMD is currently, it found support on the 200 moving the average, and what I like about this is because you see every time it drops in the 200 moving the average, you see upside, except here, it went up, came back, and found support again, came back, and up, came back down again to the 200-day moving average on the weekly. So I have to consider that, take that under advisement, put it that way. Now, I see increased volume here the moment it came back down to 200-day average. Why I'm looking at increased volume is that this could be the climax selling pressure right here, 1, 2, and you probably start seeing it move up. Let's look at the daily, see what's happening. Now, I posted about this, matter of fact, before, if you tend to read my post. And I said that if you look at this candle, increased volume, I expect to see some upside movement on AMD. And we had some upside movement on AMD. Now, what I think may happen here, we'll have to go to, as you see, MACD is crossing over. You might see some more upside, but it's very likely that you see a bit more downside before you see some upside. And I'm going to pull up, I'm going to show you some drawings that I have, some levels that I'm looking at on this. Let's go down to the maybe 30 minutes. Sure if that works. All right. So I have two scenarios here for AMD. So it fulfilled scenario 2. The other scenario that I had is that it came back down lower and then did this move, and then it continues to come back down to do the ABC retracement. So I have this level here, bounce right back up. These are the key areas that I'm looking at. Now, wave 5 was completed, right here. You can see something like this. It's either you've had the wave 1, A, B, and C. That's a possibility. Or another one is you can have A, B, and you come back down here around 218 for C. I don't know which one is going to be, but as long as it's trading above the 200-day moving average on the 30 minutes or above 125.26, there is a chance that it will continue to push up above 128. If it could hold 128, you will see AMD continues to move up. Now, that's a possibility that I have here because it found it move up right on that, really, that 0.5, which usually an ABC tends to come back down around 0.618 a lot of times. I'm speaking slowly here so that you understand my thought process, and that's why I'm going over the chart this way. Whether or not this has been fulfilled, I do not know, but I have to look at the level. But it's very likely that AMD has bottomed at 115. Now, what I'm looking at here is I want to fill this in green. Let me do this again. I want to see this level holds support. Now this is going to be your supply zone or resistance level right here. So you can see it probably trade between this level until it probably decides to do something or come back down again. So this is a zone you're looking at. So what I would probably do is see whether or not if it breaks below this, it's probably going to come back down to 120 to 118. Just seeing if it breaks below this level, which is 122 or 122.03 below this fib level. Next fib level would be 120 and then 118. That's what I have for AMD at the moment. It's just within this range. Right now it is bouncing between here, but I do think the bottom is in. I really want to call it instead of 110. Let me see. Let me do the daily thing. That's what I have here. Yeah. So this here is on a more macro look at AMD, and 120.55 is a key level because this would be, technically this would be wave 1, wave 2, then you have that wave 3 pushing up. So on a risk to reward ratio on AMD, it's a higher reward than it is risk because you had that retracement. So if it continues to hold that 120.55 level, that's a very important level for it to hold. If it continues to break below that 120 or the previous low that we had, then the levels you'll be looking at is the 108, 110 level, or right here, which is the 110 level that I always had, which is this support line right here. Alright, so those are the levels I'm looking at. I am not sure if that was helpful for anybody. I hope it was, but I am trading using levels. Alright, 120 key level. You want to see that continuously hold. Matter of fact, on the macro level, 120.55 continuously hold. And you want to see we start moving up above 128, because then you can have something like this. I want you to pay attention to this. Let me see if I could find it. Should be somewhere here. So okay, you can have something like this where it starts building out. So I want you to pay close attention to this, okay? Because then you're going to have something like this happening. That is why this level right here is quite important, and the 128, this zone right here, is quite important. So I'm more bullish on AMD than I am bearish, because I think the bottom is probably in at 115. Wow, I've been talking for a while, 18 minutes, 19 minutes. I've only done 2 charts because I'm really trying to make this educational and give you guys my thought process. And that's what I'm looking at here. Okay, that's it for AMD. Actually, one more thing. I do think you could come back down to test that 120 level. If you were to play out this chart right here, I think you could come back down, test that 120 perhaps, or test that 123. Bull case scenario, I want to see it hold support at around 123 or 123.10 right here and continues to push up. That's the bull case scenario. Alright, just remember the key levels that I went over with you guys, okay? Okay, let's look at NVIDIA. So the post that I had before is that if NVIDIA stays above 140, you can see 156, which is target 1 that I have in NVIDIA. I think it's going to go there anyways at some point. But if it fails 140, keeps getting rejected off 140, I think you're going to come back down to 116. level. Um, this is what I have for NVIDIA. It's A, B, C, D, E, coming back down. Let me do this. Got that. Right there. So I think you could see that 120 to 116 level. Um, if it drops more, which it can, you'll see this right here, which is the 114, right around the 116 level that I told you guys about. So here are the levels for NVIDIA. You want to stay above 138.21 to that 140 level. Want to stay above it. Once you start staying below that 138.21 level, which is a fib level, the next level is 129. You start dropping below 129, the next level is 121. You got to use the fib levels because that's what I'm using, fib levels. You start dropping below that 121, which is a 0.5, the next level is right here. So that's what I have in terms of levels for NVIDIA. You got to look at the levels. The levels are important. You stay above 130 or 140, you can start pushing above. See, this is the trend right here. That's what it's following. Guys, look, I try not to make technical analysis too technical. I try to really simplify it for myself, and I'm giving you the same thought process that I use to trade. I'm giving you the same thought process of what I'm looking at. I look at levels, I look at fib levels, I look at volume price analysis to see what's going on, because what this is doing here is showing me like it wants to have more downside. Alright? But you gotta look at what's going on in the chart. It's looking like it wants more downside. If it stays or remain below that 138, 140 level, if it start going above that 140 level, hold that 140 level, you could begin to see more upside, especially if it start breaking above right here. Okay, if not, you're gonna have that E wave come back down. So you can see upside. You can see more upside like this. You can see things like this happening. Comes here, gets rejected again. You can see it play around like this. Alright, just so you know. But that's the trend it's following. It's following a downtrend at the moment. And you have to wait for it to complete. This level right here, if it start falling below this level here, 133 as well, you're probably going to see this level comes to 129. Alright, for you guys trading. Hopefully it was helpful for NVIDIA. Okay, let's look at coin. This is coin. I have an ABC coming back down to around this level. This here is a daily gap fill. I'll show you. You had the breakout, and now we need to retest in a way. So I have this. I still see upside unless we start breaking below this. Then you're probably going to come back down a bit more before you had some upside and then come back down here. But I think it's most likely going to come back down and fill this gap at some point. I think it will. Let me put this here. That's an important level. I'm going to put that in red as well. If it keeps getting rejected off this level here, which is the 174, 175 level, you're going to see it start coming back down a bit more, which means that maybe wave C has not been completed, or you're having something like this. Let me show you. Or it's following a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll see at the bottom right somewhere here. And you might see might see wave A complete about here. So I'm looking out for that too. Um, what I like about this is the one thing I'm looking at that I see here is bullish divergence in the MACD, and the bullish divergence on the RSI is something I do consider. While this is in a forming a base right here, this is telling me that we might see a bit more upside on coin unless it starts breaking below here. Then the next level I'm looking at is somewhere around this level here to retest that breakout right there. All right, that's the coin. That's the level or the levels that I'm looking at. All right, let's see what else that I have. Okay, here's Google. This is what I have for Google. I have a couple of handles for Google, which I posted a very long time ago. So I'm looking at the chart again, and it seems so far for Google. So on the weekly, the one thing I'm looking at, you have indecision candle pretty much here. Spaddle, bears and bulls, increased volume. Um, then you have this one here, not much going on. So what you want to see, you want to see the price falls below this level, 191.63 or 191, and you're gonna see some downside action on this. Um, if you see the price start, if you see the price is holding this 191 level, you can still see price move back up. Once price is up above this level, you can see the price start pushing up. So it really depends on what it's doing on a based on the levels. Um, this is what I have. 3 levels that I showed you right here. And you have that top there. I could probably just put that as a level too. See, buyer stepped in here, so that's I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on here. So you can see some upside, but the levels I'm looking at is what's happening between these levels. 198 is the level, 191. So if you're trading 198, 191, you're pretty much trading between these levels. Unless it breaks one of these levels, not much is going to happen. It's going to keep within this range, especially if you're doing the 5 and 10 minutes, 5 and 15 minutes chart and you're day trading. If not, you'll have something like this. If it start breaking below certain levels and you see the volume start picking up, you will have something like this. Let me see. You'll have an ABC that will fill that gap right there because it's a daily gap and it has to fill the daily gap at some point. It's gonna come back down and fill the daily gap. Whether it's upside or downside, a lot of times it fills the daily gap. Um, see this candle right here. It found, okay, a little bit buyer stepping, but look at the candle. It's not much volume. There's not much going on here. It's just here. So now you're waiting to see what's really going on. If this if price start picking up above this level and volume start increasing, that's what you're looking at. But there's not much going on here. So you really want to see what price does. If you're trading this on a 5 or 15 minutes, I'm really trading this between these two levels. I'm in and out within these two levels. Just so you know, levels 191, 198. Within those two levels, I'm in and out the stop. Right here. Got rejected 30 minutes. So possibly, potentially, you come down and you break that level and you start dropping again. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Right, that's for Google. Okay, let's look at GameStop. I think it was Friday I posted this on GameStop, and I said there's a fair value gap here, a 4-hour fair value gap, and I think price you might. This is a U supply zone right here, and I think you see price might reject here again, and especially if you're looking at this candle 4-hour, that's a huge rejection right there on increased volume. Look at volume. So I think you might see more downside on GameStop, and I think you're gonna see this fair value gap get filled at 28.92 right here. Um, That's what I'm looking at. Now let me look at the chart. This is what I have. I'm looking at. You have this supply zone, and these are two important zones. 31.47, 32.22, or 30, let's just say 33. And you have right here 34. These are huge zones. The daily gap is something we've been trading under. It keeps getting rejected under this gap right here, which is the daily gap from way back. And we finally broke above. Then we got rejected by this zone. Now, what I'm looking at is to see price probably come back down, fill this gap, and I said before, above 27.50, I'm bullish on GameStop. You'll see upside on GameStop. Um, so you might see something of the sort. You could take it from there, or what does it look like from here? That works too. Um, when you see GameStop come back down, fill that fair value gap right here before potentially it moves back up and break this supply zone. And when that's the case, the next level that I have is 40 to 42, but I highly believe it's going to come back down. If you see GameStop continuously hold this level, 31, 32, or 33, that is quite bullish. Very bullish in my opinion. And if you start seeing break above, you'll see it move up to the $40 level without coming back here now. But it may come once it completes that level of 40, then you're going to see it come back down to test this supply zone and probably fill this fair value gap that we have here. So I fill it now and move up, or it moves up and then it filled the gap. But you have to see what's going on here at this supply zone. It continues to hold this zone, and it may break out. Just so you know, if not, it's going to fill it first, then most likely move up. It can even come back down to the 27.50. As long as it's above 27.50, that's bullish. You don't want it to start falling below 27.50 and come back down here again. Can they do it? Yeah, they can. It's possible. It's possible. Huh, see that? I see here. Look at this. The volume shelf right here. Point of control is right at the fair value gap, guys. Look right here. Come back down and probably fill that, and then you move back up again. That's GameStop for you. Let me see if I have anything else. Okay, and lastly, I think this is going to be the last one I do. It's GameStop. We're at like 33 minutes into the video. I don't know who's going to watch a 33 minutes video. Not me. But, anyways, this is AMC. Um, Now, this is the bottom for AMC, and you have the top here. If you go to 4 hours, you'll see, you can't see the candle shooting up here, but you'll see the wick on the, I think, 4 hours. But we have the demand zone. We were trading between this range, and then we got rejected. We broke straight down this support line that we have here, and we're in this demand zone. I want to see this level of 403 continuously get defended. If we continue to drop below 403, which is a demand zone, the bottom demand zone, you're going to see that retest of 359, 345 I've been talking about for a while. Q4 is looking good, but we know what happens every time AMC have an earnings call, and plus they're diluting. So you can see if we continue to fail this 403 level and we do not move back up above these level right here, which is 481, etc., you're gonna see that break down 359, which is a retest level that I have. Let's go to the 4 hours and see. Let me remove this. This is something that I had before. We obviously broke way below that, and you can even see this can even be the case too for that. We have the one. I don't think that works. We have one, two. Let me remove this. You have like a. Let me see. One. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have that push down to 5 to fill to do the retest at 359. That's the possibility right there, and that's what I'm talking about right here. See that 4 hours? MACD's trying to curl down, showing that I want to break below and go to 359. So my level would be 359, 345 in AMC. If anything, they're going to push the price down there for AMC. Now, this is what I have. Oh, I have so many drawings in AMC. So you have this level. If we take it from the bottom, right here, this is the fib, bottom to the top. Let me see if I can remove all of these things. Oh, I have like so many trend lines. Clear this up for you guys. Leave that one. I have another one that I want to leave. Okay, leave that one. Which one did I just remove? Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that at the moment. That's like a big one I want to make, but that's for later. Just want to show you guys something. Okay, now we're going to take the bottom. That's the bottom. I'm going to take the top. And then, if assuming this is wave 1, then you'll have wave 2. Been in this level for a long time. And we failed the 460. We're back down. So you can see something like this playing out. 1. Come back down here for wave 2 and you fill that 359, 345, or 345, wave 2 at the 0.786. And then you start moving up for your wave 3 because 2025 seems to be a good year for the box office and AMC is going to be profitable. So if I am the market makers and I really want to do that, I'll probably just do this. Everybody thinks it's going to sell off, it's going to continue to come back down more, but it does not, and that's when you have more upside. So if it follows this, what would the upside be like for AMC? Let me see. Solely based off Elliott wave, you're going to have something like this in AMC. This here, wave 3. It's 55. Obviously this here is the gap, which is going to fill right here. There's that daily gap, which most likely is going to come back up to fill that gap at some point. Then you're going to have wave 5. Oh, sorry. Let me just see how far down. Yep, there you go. The 0.382. Come back down to retest that daily gap. Right there. And then you have the wave 5. Right there. And the target for wave 5 would be $107 for AMC. Right there. So that's AMC for you. Quite a good looking chart. If 2025 and 2026 is going to do as amazing, AMC debt is going to be coming down and they're going to be profitable over the next 2 years. This is exactly what that could look like. if you guys want to know. Yeah. Hopefully that was helpful. All right. All right, guys. I think that's it for now. I think I'm gonna close off. I've been going on for about 40 minutes. Later. Bye.